Is there a correlation between diet, meditation, and spiritual evolution? In the teachings that are attributed to Gautama, who was known as the Buddha, quite a high premium was put on love and compassion. By definition, murdering someone, murdering any entity that is capable of experiencing pain, is pretty much the antithesis of love and compassion. Therefore, if upon whatever spiritual path you trod, you value love and compassion, do your best to minimize the amount of cruelty directly in your life or that you pay others to perform on your behalf. No, you might not, your neighbors might not see you being dragged down the street by a cow that you're currently trying to eat. They might not see you murdering bovine left and right, but you may go to the store and pay someone who is just one in a long line of people who is receiving money from you directly or indirectly to commit the same acts of violence. If you value love and compassion, you might not be able to stop every war on the planet. You might not be able to stop every act of violence on the planet. But in your own sphere, your own little bubble of personal influence, you can minimize the violence. As a consumer, by choosing, whenever you can, not to consume that which is the fruit of another's suffering. Now, there are some who would use an appeal to futility and say, well, when a crop of lettuce is harvested, the occasional earthworm may be killed. Therefore, there is no food without suffering. You might as well kill all beings everywhere and have a giant barbecue. Well, that escalated quickly. Do what we can. We may not be perfect, but if we do what we can, we will grow in our wisdom and in our opportunities to do more, or to do less and less harm. Now that we've explored love and compassion, let's be selfish bastards. Sometimes Buddha gave instructions to his nuns and monks about food that had nothing to do with cruelty. So, for instance, Buddha gave instructions that fully ordained nuns and monks were to eat one meal a day. They were to eat brunch or lunch, whichever term you prefer. They weren't to eat breakfast and they weren't to eat dinner. And a lot of people, when they learned of that, they were horrified. Buddha explained, or at least in the teachings attributed to Buddha, it is explained that by adopting this practice, number one, he felt lighter and more lucid. And number two, he felt healthier and less prone to illness. So it turns out what we eat not only affects our spiritual development of love and compassion, but it can also affect the health of our body and the lucidity of our head. So in an interdependent universe where everything affects everything, there is a considerable amount of evidence that eating a whole food, plant-based diet is compassionate for the animals that we're not murdering or paying others to murder. It's compassionate to our bodies, for they can be healthier. It's compassionate to our minds, for they can be more lucid, more skilled in meditation. And it's more compassionate for the society around us, because as we grow in compassion and lucidity and wisdom, we are more tolerable to be around. We are less annoying, hopefully. And of course, modern science shows us that a optimally sourced whole food plant-based diet is very good for the environment and much better for the environment than animal agriculture is. So as a contemplative whose consciousness depends on his brain, and whose brain depends on his body, and whose body depends on his planet, personally, I practice a whole food plant-based diet, and as much as my circumstance and health permit, I practice one meal a day. I do not demand anything from you. I'm just offering this to you for your consideration. My name is Lama Jigme Gyatso, and this is the Buddha Joy Meditation School.